Hi, everyone. So, here it was an interesting conversation at the World Economic Forum this year, and that was around reskilling and upskilling. Now, there are nuances in there, and some of the speakers say it's not necessarily a reskilling and upskilling, but rather retrain, train, and retrain and educate and so forth. But those are nuances in taxonomy there. But the message was, and they interviewed several top leaders, about 10 of them, some of them from Google and LinkedIn. And the conversation turns out to be very interesting. They said among these top leaders that the number one reason that employees leave the company is salary. However, even more interesting, that same reason is number six for employees who decide to stay in a company. So the ones that decide to stay, here is the fact that you should pay attention to. The reason is that they decide to stay is that they feel they don't have, or they believe they don't have, the skills necessary for the future technology. Now imagine that. So not only they decided to stay, they believe they are not prepared to apply to other organizations because they don't have the skills necessary to be there. But that also means, right, the underlying is that they don't have the skills basically to stay on your own organization. Are you training your employees that not only they have the latest skills and they feel prepared to engage the emerging technologies and so forth in your organization? If not, you are staying with outdated skilled employees that will not add value to your organization when you decide to take strategically your organization to the next level. So why that is important in cybersecurity? Well, first of all, cybersecurity is continuously evolving in technologies and so forth. So new tools, generative AI nowadays, AI projects perhaps you're facing right now, moves to the cloud, and all the nuances in technology in there with serverless environments, and containers and so forth. So there are specific technologies to specifically strategies. As you move into new projects, you will require those skill sets to be updated. Now, tying in other factors around the world, the economic changes and challenges the organization are facing. So when you look at that, are you cutting training for your employees? So you would be falling even further behind the curve, if you will, on that, because not only they decide to stay because they don't believe they have the right skills, and most likely they don't. Now, providing that you start cutting training dollars, will those employees even fall further? Are you hurting yourself in the long run? It is a smart short-term strategy, but it is a smart long-term strategic decision of cutting those funds. So number one is salary. Most likely you're not going to be able to challenge that, right? Because if they're leaving, probably you're not going to be able to make it the difference and try to keep that employee. And if you are able to do that, is it smart to keep them just for them to stay a little longer and then leave it anyway? So it is a business strategy decision that you have to make. But my concern here is the ones that actually stay in your organization. Are you capturing that risk in your leadership? Are you capturing that on the risk ratio? Is that embedded in some other risk that you have identified, or exclusively this is a retention risk that you already have in your register, but are you addressing from this perspective? So that it was an interesting conversation in the World Economic Forum this year among these top leaders, that training is very important. Maintaining your employees is very important to the future of your organization as new technology comes around.